I always value the trades, right? And I
Hmm.
think it's so important because we don't shine enough light on the trades and how important it is, how busy it is. Like, I mean, there are always electrical contractors, plumbers, the service industry is it's busy, it's moving, it's bustling. It's a great business model.
Yes, and then people always talk about like the robotics and the AI and all
Hmm.
these things that are coming up with technology is going to replace people. I say, yeah, but somebody's going to have to be able to repair that stuff.
Hmm.
Somebody's going to have to be able to create that stuff. And I
Hmm.
said, that's where we come in. And it's not
Hmm.
going to replace people. I mean, that's a misdemeanor, you know. I said, it's not going to replace people. It's just going to allow you, which it's already been doing for me, to get things done faster.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us on another episode of Entrepreneurial Truth. On today's podcast, we have Eric Truxon with us, and he's with Just It's Electric. Eric, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much for allowing me to be here today.
Ab- Absolutely, absolutely. Eric, can you tell our listeners a little bit about what you do, who you serve, and how you've been um, navigating the business space?
Okay, well, my name's Eric Truxon, and the name of our company is Just It's Electric, licensed electrical contractor. Um, we do commercial and residential work. We do commercial fit outs. We do retrofitting, which is changing light fixtures. We do things around people's homes. We kind of never get rid of that. As long as you have friends and people that you know and they know you're an electrician, you'll always be in someone's home. So we enjoy doing that too. And let me see. We have been around, or I've been in the industry. Just a little background on me since 1982. I started out as an electrical engineering student, and 1987 I started learning the other side, which is electricity, and in 1988. I mean, I don't know, all this stuff probably predates a lot of your listeners being alive, let alone being adults, but that's okay. So that kind of tells my age, but I'm still doing it because I enjoy doing it. But 1988 is when I actually got my contractor's license because I had some experience in engineering and I was still learning. But on paper, I was able to get a license, even though I really didn't know what I was doing. And, having been to college and undergrad, I could take a test easily. So I got my license and then I went through an apprenticeship. I actually got to be a journeyman, which is like a technician, and then I became a foreman, a superintendent. Finally, I got my own business. I would say 1998. I got my business, like I said, started in 1988. 1998 is when I went totally full time, not one foot in and one foot out, like the young lady jumping double dutch, trying to make up her mind if you want to be here, you want to be there, you want to be here, you want to be there. So I got past that, and since 1998, I've had my own business, and I had it since, I'm sorry, 88, but full time since 1998. And in 2008 is when we incorporated to Just It's Electric rather than doing, I mean, if people are tax people, that's Schedule C, which costs you a bunch of money. I didn't know any better, but I know better now.
Ooh, I I love that you shared 88, 98, 2008. So I love that you said that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So your journey is not exactly typical of most entrepreneurs in terms of being in the same thing and continuing that journey straight, just different iterations of the same thing, right? I want to go through what that looked like for you and what you would give advice you would give someone that's on that same trajectory.
Okay, well, just to take it a little farther back, when I was a small kid, telephone repair person would come. The I would see the man on the great big truck out there climbing up the pole and all that, and that always intrigued me. So, and when I was in school, I did kind of well in school. So, of course, they told me, you should go into engineering, which was good. But of course, electrical, because that's what I wanted to do also. So in essence, I'm kind of living my dream pretty much. I mean, I'm
Mhm.
doing things the whole time. I've been doing something that I always wanted to do. I may not have known it, but 40 years later, I'm still doing it. So I must like it. So the one journey I would say that people should do is, I mean, if you're going to own a business, and if you plan on doing some longevity instead of just buying a business and selling it and getting money, if you plan on doing it a long time, you have to pick something that you enjoy, not just for the money.
Mhm.
The money will come. I mean, you can always find something that's going to be a big money maker and all that, but you're not going to do it a long time if you don't enjoy doing it.
Mhm.
So, I mean, if you want to do something for longevity, as long as I've been doing it, as long as a lot of people do it, you got to pick something that you like. The money will come. If you're good and talented at what you do and you enjoy it, the money will come. Or in some aspects, the money is not necessarily your reward.
Right. Right. But I mean, okay, so you've been doing it this it's a long time that you've been doing this, right? And
Mhm.
every iteration that you've had, what has changed?
Um, so the only thing that has changed is when I was working for someone else. Um, I still was in the industry and I still enjoyed it, but I just felt, what's the word I'm looking for? Like this glass ceiling that was there, and it wasn't anything negative or anything like that. I just felt like I could do more. And if you feel like that, you really need to look at possibly doing more. And now, although I'm not necessarily making just crazy money or nothing like that, making a little more than I was working for someone else. But the biggest thing is, I feel like to a certain degree, I control my own destiny, even though it's a lot more work and a lot more aggravation. I can kind of look in the mirror to determine what I want to do rather than getting permission, if that makes sense. That's one iteration. The other iteration is when I started out engineering. I did it. I liked it. I liked it in school, but I like working with my hands. And electrical engineering, it was sort of abstract, and I spent a lot of time in an office, and not so much an office, but the same office. The one good thing about contracting that I love, if I'm somewhere for more than a year, unless it was some long term job, I'm not doing a good job. So I get a chance to jump around, still doing the same thing, but moving around.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
you got to examine who you are and just realize that you want to tie into that. And, now the next iteration, I guess, because I'm a little older, like I was talking about those big trucks and climbing up the poles, I can do that, but I don't do that anymore. I'm more of an in an office and walking around and talking to people. And, as a business owner, we all know, our job really is you're like a storyteller all day. You're always
Mhm.
trying to motivate people to bring you more business, to work for you, to work with you. And you tell stories all day, and I move around from place to place still, but I'm not necessarily on the truck physically doing as much as I used to. So you know that's it. And then people say, you have a exit strategy. I say, yeah, I do, but I like what I'm doing. So I redo it a lot, and my exit strategy is probably going to be until I can't do it anymore. It's not like I have a job where I can't wait till I retire.
Right.
I
Right.
can't. It's not that kind of situation, because I would have already retired if that was the case.
Right. 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 That, and let me tell you, I have to say this. I really, really, your service-based business But what stood out to me when I was looking at your company is your marketing and how well you market your company. Like even looking behind you, Justice Electric is the curtain behind you. So you are marketing and you're in this space. Like what changed to make you kind of say, hey, listen, I need to focus on marketing and marketing different than what everybody else is doing?
Well, the biggest thing, I mean, I did it when I first started. I didn't know any better, so that's all I did. And then I kind of got away from it because I got a little busy and all that. And I can tell you, you always look for a silver lining in any cloud. And I mean, this was a really bad cloud with the COVID and stuff like that. But I said I gotta go back to the basics, the marketing, because and I can tell you another thing that always got me to market and try to be different than everyone else. Every meeting I go to see a bid or to look at a job or to talk to some big corporation or even a smaller corporation, there'll be general contractor, there'll be maybe two or three, there'll be maybe one or two carpenters, there might be a plumber or two, there'll be five electricians. It's always an influx of electricians everywhere I go, so I have to stand out. Well, we have to stand out rather.
Yep. Yep. And you're doing a great job of it. I mean, from your
Thank
website to everything that I looked up, I was impressed. I said to our team, I was like, yo, his marketing is on point. Like, are you using any systems? Are you using anything that helps you to identify what's gonna make you stand out in your market?
Um, Not really. I just think the years of experience,
Mhm,
and I go to a lot of meetings and talk to people and I listen to what they say and I say I can do that.
mhm,
Or I can, I have a small marketing team. I mean, I have a small company, so pretty much the marketing team, the payroll, the besides the people who are out in the field, it's maybe the team is one person.
mhm,
you know, the
mhm.
office staff is one person, the marketing team is one person. I oversee all of it, but it's not like it's a great big conglomerate as far as in house. So we have to make it work, and it's no rhyme or reason to it. We do a lot of social media, we do commercials. I'm a guest a lot of places, and I love what I'm doing, and that helps. And plus, even a lot of times in service, people don't do marketing. And I guess
Right.
my background of I started out, white collar, and now I'm blue collar, but I didn't lose,
Mhm.
what I didn't lose that white collar. I don't have necessarily the same image, but I didn't lose what got me there. I mean, that
Mhm.
how everything is important, and engineers, or for lack of a better word, kind of anal. They always, everything's got to be perfect.
Mhm.
I haven't lost that. That's not the service industry, so I'm back and forth all the time.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I'm always trying to devise or think of another way, and I just always thought marketing was the safe bet. I mean, I've watched over the years people who have done bad or good things as far as celebrities, and people like that, and unless they did something heinous, some kind of heinous crime, just about all publicity and marketing is good publicity and marketing.
Right. Right. Right.
You know,
I
unless
like
you're
that.
a terrible person, that's different. But just if you have a hiccup, just the fact that your name is out there, it's good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm glad that you said that you're looking at all different perspectives, like every avenue counts. And what's some advice that you can give the younger generation that may be listening to this about just longevity in business?
Oh, the younger generation, I think that I think they should spend more time realizing their destiny. So when I say that, so when I was say 16, 17, I thought I was pretty intelligent and my mind was moving fast and all, but I can see the kids now. I don't know what they're all doing with it, but they have to move a lot faster than I did, and they have a lot of energy and knowledge and stuff like that. They just need to put it to good use. I mean, and everybody doesn't have to be a YouTuber or entertainer or anything like that, which are great things to do. But I mean, right now, service industry is really hot.
Trades are
Um,
hot. Mm-hmm.
very hot. Medical is really hot. We have a lot of what is it called? Diseases and things that are being fixed, and you got to have somebody to administer whatever they're doing to fix it. I mean, when I say fixed, it's just natural progression. They're finding cures for things, so they're going to need more people in that industry. But I guess that's service too. But I can tell you, it's so much construction going on now that I always look forward to young people coming in, if possible, so that we can bring them in. Because you know we ain't gonna do it forever, and honestly, we're not going to be here forever. So we want to leave this world in place of some other leaders,
Mm-hmm.
if we consider ourselves leaders.
No, I like to, because I know we have, some younger listeners that listen to this podcast, and I always value the trades, right? And I
Mhm.
think it's so important because we don't shine enough light on the trades and how important it is, how busy it is. Like, I mean, there are always electrical contractors, plumbers, the service industry, it's busy, it's moving, it's bustling. It's a great business model.
Yes, and then people always talk about like the robotics and the AI and
Hmm.
all these things that are coming up with technology is going to replace people. I say, yeah, but somebody's going to have to be able to repair that stuff.
Hmm.
Somebody's going to have to be able to create that stuff. And I
Hmm.
said, that's where we come in. And it's
Hmm.
not going to replace people. I mean, that's a misdemeanor. I said, it's not going to replace people. It's just going to allow you, which it's already been doing for me, to get things done faster.
Hmm.
You still got
Hmm.
to know what you're doing in order to get to input what needs to be done.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's a misconception. All right, so our company, we have a AI automation business, and I speak to a lot of people about just implementation. I think the lack of knowledge there is what needs to be automated, how it can help your business grow, and not so much the fact that it's going to take over necessarily your business. That's not really the point, right? But I think they're missing it.
I always laugh. It's going to take your business to another level. It's not
Correct.
going to take it over if you use
Correct.
it properly.
Correct. Correct. And how are you finding that it's working in your industry or for you?
Oh, it works great. I mean, anything that I have to prepare is not that I couldn't prepare without it, but it just saves me so much time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It doesn't do it because I'm not putting out anything that I don't want to put out. It's not like I say, well, this is it. I still have to proofread, still have to make a decision, or I still have to practice, look in the mirror and make sure it sounds right.
Yeah.
But the whole point is it saves me really on research. That's what I think.
Right.
It doesn't do any words for anything like me, but research. I don't have to go to Google and Google and Google and go to this library and talk to that person. I can look and I can sift whether it's good or not information.
You know, I'm glad you said that. Okay, so I remember having to drive to a library, get a book off a shelf, open the book to do research. Then I remember when the internet came out, everybody's like, oh, and they were all scared about the internet. And it's like, thinking about the fact that you can now just type in, for example, Google search term to find the information. And now, you know, Chat GPT is replacing that search capability. It's like it's just changing how we do things. It's not
That's it.
taking over, but we're still doing the thing.
You still have to do it. If you don't, you just can't say, wow, I got a thought. I don't know how to put it together. I want somebody to put it. Nah, you got to know what you're thinking.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I love it. I love it. Like I said, because it's a big time saver. Not that I need to juggle a lot of things, but sometimes I just need to save some time. Like you said, I would have to go to the library. I was big on I go to the library and photocopy everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got to stop and write down the reference and bibliography from where I photocopy from. And I got all these photocopies. Oh man,
Oh,
I got to write down where'd this come from?
oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, not to stray too far, but college looks so different than college. I mean, for I know college for me look different than college for the kids because
I can believe it.
when I'm like, you guys have life so easy, right?
hmm And I see a lot. Like I said, I just see the intelligence level is really high with the younger kids now, and or younger adults. I'm sorry, and they just really, I just really want them to do something with it. I mean, if
Mhm.
nothing else, I mean, every time I'm reading or watching something, you know, it's much more either news, but I don't think it's the news. I think it's much more people getting 15, 1600, 1350, and all that on their
Yeah.
SATs
Yeah.
and having 4.2 graduating and all that. I mean, when I was coming up, few people did well, a few people had, but it's just becoming so common. You're seeing kids graduating 13, 14. And I'm like, what that means is sign of the times, the majority of them, a whole lot more of them have that capacity. And I
Mm-hmm.
would really like to see them do something with it.
Mm-hmm.
And if they talk to me, that's what we do. One of the things we do, which kind of stimulates their minds, a little bit, is we have a scholarship program that we do each year. And it's not much money. It just depends. So what happens is we do anywhere from 1 to 4 scholarships, and depending on how much money we raise, and if I match it, and if I had, well, I will match it at the very least. If I put a little extra, if we had a really good year, and all they have to do is write an essay on owning your own business. Not they own their own business, not whoever owns their own business, just what it is to own your own business. And then we pick the best essays and we give them a scholarship. They just have to be a full time student, um, and have a 2.6, which it's
Right.
not that, you almost need that to graduate. So we don't put much stress on them. But the thing is, even if they don't own their own business, I'm just a firm believer in entrepreneurs, and people need to know
Mm-hmm.
what we do or don't do,
Mm-hmm.
because the biggest thing that I look at is nowadays, say 40 years ago, 30 years later, you retire with this full pension. You worked at Amtrak, say. I'm just out the clear blue saying, and you got this big pension. Now, you talk to people and they're working for companies and they don't even make it to vested.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or they're
Mm-hmm.
doing a lot of jumping around. They're working, but they're not, jobs aren't as guaranteed long term jobs like they were
Right.
before. So you need to consider some of the small businesses,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
realistically, majority of people in the country are employed by small businesses, believe it or
Right.
not.
Right. 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 You know, talking about the small business, a lot of small businesses, when you look down the line, they do not set up themselves. Like you're saying, you work for a company, you have a pension. A lot of small business owners do not set themselves up for retirement. What are some of the strategies or things that you think that would help a business owner when they're looking towards the future to be able to set themselves up for that next phase of business?
Ooh, so the biggest thing is, investments. That's what, I have an investment company that I work with over the years, and it turns out it was a friend. I mean, like you said, most small businesses don't have the big investment firm or the annuity or whatever within, but they should set that up. But a lot of times, you just gotta create or put together an exit strategy, which allows you to have a lot of income
Mm-hmm.
uh, at a certain point when you decide to retire. That will take you past retirement and hopefully on to the next people. If you had a successful business,
Mm-hmm.
that's just for you. Now, as far as your team, you got to get somebody who can put those things together for you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just a firm believer in investing too, and it doesn't have to be, whatever it is. A lot of people invest in real estate, and I think that's good, but tenant situation to me is for a younger person. As you get older, you just for lack of a better word, you just want to be left alone.
Mm-hmm.
you know, and it's not that, but you just get used to having certain time to yourself. And a lot of people have done real estate and things like. I think real estate's definitely good. Tenant situations probably for a younger person or for getting a company, but that's one of the things that's always popular with construction people. And the reason why is because we're in buildings all the time. I mean, I may not know how to price carpentry. I may not know how to price plumbing. I may not know how to price putting an elevator in, but I've been around that stuff for 40 years. So I know how to do it within reason. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
learn it. If you're in the trades, that's one thing. And that's another thing that's good about the trades. I mean, God forbid you lose your job, you still have that knowledge of something to do that is viable away from your job, depending on
Mm-hmm.
what you're doing. If you're building widgets for such and such a company and it's standard, it's not standard issue, it's something really technical, then that's all you know how to do.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you going to do now? I mean, you can retrain and all that, but if you're in the trades, I'm a firm believer in the trades. Whatever you do, you can apply it anywhere. Always, somebody's always, hey, and as we call the journeyman, that's what we're called. And journeyman will travel. I mean, if you're willing to travel, people travel to Florida, they travel to New York, they travel to wherever it is. I remember a while back when we all ran to Atlantic City when they were building those casinos, and
Mm-hmm.
they made a lot of money. I don't know if the contractors made a lot of money because I heard some horror stories, but I wasn't a contractor then. So I probably have some horror stories too, but as you live and you learn. You know, that's that.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't matter. Every business has ups and downs, just like people, and you just try to stay on the ups.
I agree. I agree. Wow. And how can our listeners find you?
Oh, they can find me on Instagram at Justice Electric. They can find me on Facebook, same thing at Justice Electric. We have a website, www.justitselectric, just it's electric, one word.com. They can, of course, find us on LinkedIn, either as Eric Truxton or just it's electric, like the name is right there. Our phone number, we have offices is Southwest Philly. We have office in Ballard Kenwood, which is a suburb of Philly, and then we have an office in Claymont, Delaware. And our office number is 215-473, and then the letters JUST, which is 5878. So, we still try to do marketing no matter
I'm,
what we
I'm saying though, listen, I was so impressed. So, okay, all right. If you had to give advice to your younger self looking back, what would that advice be?
Two things. The biggest thing is make sure you vet everyone, definitely, and not be so trusting with people, which goes along with the vetting, and just do what you love. I think that I'm doing what I love, but I wasn't doing it since I was 5 years old.
Mm-hmm.
It took me a while to get back to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I'm not saying I'm not as far along as I would like to be, but I might have been a little farther along if I had just done it from the beginning.
Wow. Wow. As I say, hindsight is 2020.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Right. Right. Awesome. Eric, thank you so much for coming on today. I
Thank you for
appreciate the
having
conversation.
me. I had a wonderful time.
Likewise, likewise. Everyone, thank you for listening again. And or if you catch us on YouTube, the links will be down below so that you can contact Eric. And if you're listening, he just released how you can hear him and how you can find him. Thank you so much, Eric.
Thank you.